right, so this is today. We are at the end of lecture 2, the second half of it. Basically, the main point there is resampling the data, and Jeremy has this 8-step process. So that's basically the essence of the lecture. So first, I'd like to open up with the results from last week. You know, we all know that there's a new course coming up October 22nd, and we asked what people would like to do in the meantime, and basically I think it's 2 to 1 that says let's just continue with the video lectures that he has available, instead of trying to learn some basic PyTorch and NumPy and other stuff. So we're gonna stay on course, basically. And so speaking of that October 22nd course, so when that day comes, we're gonna switch. Sam had an interview with Jeremy, and they talked about this a little bit. I think, we'll go in depth into that meeting, but basically, when that day comes, we're switching to sort of the live course. So I would like to ask everybody to register for that course, so we can actually watch. So you have to register, I think, to watch the videos. So let's see, where is the, so the registration form is here. Basically, let me first ask, I'm gonna ask on the chat, who has or has not registered for the October 22nd course? Chat. Oh, chat. To everyone. I think 0 is registered, did I say? Okay. Okay, yeah, 0 is not registered. Yeah, I'm way behind. Let's see what people are saying. So many have not registered. I think it was through the Fast.ai website application. Yes, I am talking about the Fast.ai website application. So I think it's good to take like a few minutes now to for everyone to register. I'm going to post the link up. The link is on the the meeting notes for today. Here is the form right here. So I'd say let's take maybe 5 minutes, everyone, just to register. It'd probably just take you like 2 minutes, but let's come back in 5 minutes and talk about it. And if you don't like to register, go get some coffee. But I think, you know, technically registration means you can watch the course. It may not be, it's not going to be, the recording will not be available very immediately. Like I'm guessing within the week is what I'm thinking.
Are we signing up for the certificate or what? And
yeah, I know it says certificate here, but I don't think you're signing up for the certificate. This is the only link I found. But if you go to, if you go to the Fast.ai website, it points to this link. You're not signing. I don't think you're signing up for the certificate.
What term? Oh, notifying that.
Oh, Andrew sent something. Let's see. Andrew posted this link here. Yeah.
This is the right
Here's
one.
the sign up link in the URL. Oh, well, it's a different URL. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay,
yeah, this is the form. This is the form. This is a good one.
Okay.
That link was for in-person attendance.
The one that is on the screen, this is the good one for the live. Yeah, for the online.
So it says complete this form by October 12th, so we're going to complete it today. So let's come back. Let's talk again in about 5 minutes. Unless someone has some questions.
Yeah, so the only requirement there is that you have 1 year of coding as a checkbox. So that's the only criteria, really.
Right. All right. Hopefully everybody had enough time to fill out the form. Okay, we'll just continue then. First of all, I'm going to just post today's meeting notes here. Whoops, what I have on the screen, just so you all can follow. So that's just the Google Doc notes that I'm looking at. Secondly, I want to do another poll, just to see how you feel about the pace that we're going at. So the responses are 1 through 7, 1 being, 1 being like no comment, you don't want to respond, which is fine. Number 2 is you still looking at trying to set up your GPU environment. 3 is you didn't finish the video, didn't finish watching the video, etc. So just trying to get an idea of how people are keeping up. So I would ask that everybody please respond. You can say no comment for your response. It's number 1. If you don't want to say anything. Wow. Everybody's looking good. Mostly. Okay. I mean, I'm at about, 5 or 6 on this one. Okay, very good. Thank you very much for the responses. All right, so let's just go on with the next item. Did anybody hear anything interesting or anything new? What did you find that's hard on the core? Any particular item that is hard in this lesson or this part of the lecture? Feel free to chime in.
I was surprised. I've listened to the interview that Chinese Ong guy did, and I've heard a few others. And to my shock and amazement, I'm understanding large parts of what they're talking about.
Oh, that's great. What interview is this? Is this the one with Sam?
No, this was with one of the founding guys. It was an Asian interviewing, I believe, a Dutch man about his contributions and how he'd started. And I didn't listen to it all. It was getting kind of trying, but I listened to over half of it, and I was surprised. That and a few others that I'm beginning already to understand large parts when they use terms like keras and convolution and backward propagation. I'm still working on how that works, but nonetheless, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I'm glad we're making some headway. Did anybody find anything particularly hard about this section? I kind of did. I couldn't reproduce some of Jeremy's results, but so.
There is one more.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think Jeremy yesterday updated that pip install Fast.ai may not work. Some notebooks for the course which we are referring may not work with the V1 version 1 live Fast.ai.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I saw some discussion on Slack about that. You may be referring fast. Is it this one?
So you're talking the PP install of 1.0 or PP install of 0.7?
No response there. Yeah, I haven't even tried installing the new one. So let's talk about that meeting with that, the new Fast.ai library and the interview that Sam had. So the
Why do nice guys really finish last? Now, I'm sure you probably heard that expression more than once. Nice guys finish last with girls, or don't be the nice guy.
what is that?
Probably might even
I don't know who that is. I'm going to try to mute that one. Hang on.
really get it. In this video, I'm going to explain what makes being nice.
You know what? I'm going to mute everybody. Just unmute yourself, I guess. Is there a way?
So why is being nice so detrimental? The answer is actually really, really simple.
Well, thank you. That stopped. I wish there's a way to mute everybody. That's. Oh well. Okay. Well, it stopped. Anyway, so here is Sam's. I think Sam's interview with Jeremy. Hopefully, everybody just has this page open, so I don't have to paste everything in chat. But so it's like an hour-long interview. He talks to Jeremy about the new versions that's coming up, and briefly about some other stuff. But so basically, let's just clarify our vocabulary. What we've been using up to now is version 0.7, as I think Mikhail stated. And what's coming out, what's new, is version 1.0. And we're going to start using that in late October. What's new there is, there's more functionality for table data, ULM fit, which is Universal Language Model Fit. I think that's something Jeremy's been working on. It's basically, I think, transfer learning for languages. So far we've been using this pre-computed weights for images. So this ULM fit is really pre-computed weights for language processing. All right, and some more stuff in there for data augmentation for NLP. We've had data augmentation for images, and now he's going to use it for he's going to do it for languages too. And it has more alignment with the new PyTorch that's coming out. So that's what's new in the new library. And oh, by the way, there's even slight, I don't know, when Jeremy first started with this thing, he started with the Fast.ai, he calls it functions. He doesn't even call it a library. And was basically sitting on top of Keras and TensorFlow. So, but that does not have a version. So the only two versions that Jeremy acknowledges is these two. Okay. The main,
Can you hear me?
Who's talking?
Oh, yeah, it's Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, I have a new microphone. I wasn't sure if you could hear me, but that interview, is that the TWiML AI normal podcast feed interview with Jeremy?
I don't know if it's normal podcast feed. Do you want me to paste it in Slack for you?
No, that's fine. So it's something maybe separate.
Yeah, I think he interviews people once in a while. I don't know how often, but this is part of like that kind of series.
Yeah, it's a podcast.
Okay. Yeah. All right, but I think he mentions this in the text. I mean, we have PyTorch, we have so what, why do we need Fast.ai? Well, we've been using it for images, so it doesn't seem like as big a deal yet. I mean, it's pretty cool. 3 lines to get you a neural network. But I mean, later on we're going to see that those 3 types of lines applies to language processing, applies to database tables, applies to time series, and like recommendation systems and stuff. So basically, the same type, the single API ties all that stuff together. So that's really nice. The other stuff about the new library, I guess it's gonna be kind of bundled into, I mean, Google API, Google Cloud's gonna bundle it, Amazon's gonna bundle it. Wow. How did that happen? Huh. So I guess it's just in the announcement of that, he cites some examples that people have done with with Fast.ai. This people have generated music. This the Clara is a system. So I think a student from Stanford generates some music. It's pretty cool. And there's a style reversion, you know, in the art world, and you know, language processing in Polish, which is supposed to be really hard. So that's just examples of how people are using Fast.ai. Transfer learning is protected. Talk about. I think maybe in the new one there's some sort of feature for super convergence that's like makes it train a lot faster, supposedly 10 times faster, I think. This is a question mark, or maybe it's already in Fast.ai. I don't know if there's anything new in the new version for that. But so what I found really good is the docs. You know, before there was no documentation at all, and now there is. There is a little bit. It's like a one pager, but it's a really good place to start. So here, well, not a one pager, but it's just some modules, list of modules. But I found, you know, this is probably a good place to start right here. List of classes and the relationships between them. You know, it gets you an overall view of how things go. Yeah, so that's what I hear about the new versions. Anybody have anything to add or ask?
So that class hierarchy is all Fast.ai code running, maybe calling PyTorch underneath.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
So, you know, like I said, you have before, I think a lot of what we did just had vision in it. Now, I guess maybe there's text and tabular, or maybe that's always been there. I'm not sure. Yeah, text has been there. So is tabular. Yeah, it's been there. Okay. So if you want to dig in the code, this is a good place to start. Yeah, so that's what's new in the interview. So I also, you know, I think when Jeremy was during this interview, he mentioned his sort of working style. He would sit in a classroom, and he would, you know, an open classroom. People can come in and just watch what he does on the screen and see all the mistakes he made, and so basically that development process became, I think, maybe 14 Python notebooks that he makes available, so you can see how, you know, how the library is built up from the beginning with possibly many of the mistakes and the refactoring that he had to do. So I think that would probably be a good thought trail for his process. Yeah. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about before we dive into the lesson is there's I mean, last time when I went through the study group, you know, we had some students just who are interested in certain aspects of the lesson do a slightly deeper dive, and, you know, come here in this forum and, you know, give us maybe like a 5-minute spiel of 5 or 10 minutes spiel of, you know, what they learned, what they discovered, what they did side research on. So I'd like to, you know, suggest that and open that up too. You know, some topics might be, for example, you know, ResNet. This is the network scheme that we've been using all along. You know, what's all that? That's supposed to be like 50 layers plus, whatever. You know, it's not. You know, I think what we hear about a lot is AlexNet is what most people are familiar with. Which AlexNet is for the one that I think won the ImageNet competition in 2012, and that really propelled everything. And that's like maybe 5 convolution layers, 8 max pool, I mean, total of like 8 layers. Whereas ResNet is supposed to be like 50 layers or more, or some such bizarre thing. Another topic, you know, people might be interested in is pandas. That's just a library for a Python library that processes really, you know, tabular data. It slurps up you know, you slurp up CSV file. what's in it's like a table, and basically Pandas allows you to do some sort of SQL-like operations on that and to slice and dice your data. Other stuff can be like, when we get into it, language processing, attention models, and so forth. So, think about that. If you work in one of these areas, and you have something that you can enlighten us with, let me know. You can just, message me on Slack, or direct message me on Slack, or in the chat, or here, let me give out some more information if you need to contact me. Here's my email address. And for those of you in the US, if you'd like, I don't mind if you call me. Wow, what is my phone number?
You're so young, and it's already hitting you.
No, I type my phone number every day. I'm just blanking out now because it's kind of like my password to the gym. Something. I think it's 808. I don't know. Let's put a question mark here. Okay. Well. Okay, so if you're interested in that, contact me in one of those ways. Actually, Slack channel is my least preferred one. A direct message. Okay. So, yeah, that is my phone number. Okay. And also, if you would like to run this study group, off and on, I can sure use like a fill-in moderator, alternate moderator. So let me know if if you want to do that. Just takes a little preparation. And especially if you've been through this course before by yourself or any other means, then I think you'd have some idea of the big picture. That can help you moderate this this discussion. Okay. So,
Sebastian,
anybody have anything you want to jump in with?
Yeah, just quick one. So last week we mentioned that we're thinking about starting the machine learning study group. So we're thinking, and we decided to do it. So starting tomorrow, and then weekly for 12 weeks. So if anyone's interested to also do machine learning, so this is the course that Jeremy recommends us, like even you can do in parallel, because it talks about similar topics in slightly different perspective. So the first part, they talk about mostly random forests, like decision tree model. And then the second part is neural network based. So it's a lot of similarities between those two courses. So if anyone's interested, there's information on Slack on how to join. We're starting tomorrow with the lesson 1.
Okay, hey Mikhail, I want to ask you something about that. So it's that course is, I guess, the first part, random forest gradient boost. That's more statistically based, right?
Right. So yeah, it's a little bit, but not too much. It's using the same kind of top-down approach. So like the lesson 1, it starts with the random forests, and so it's also top-down. Maybe it goes a little slower pace. So like the random forest is like for first 6 or 7 lessons, but and then neural networks. I guess I didn't go through the whole course myself, so I'll be also going with the group. But I did a couple of the random forest lessons, like 4 lessons, and I think they were quite good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that from what I can remember, the statistical methods, I mean, they were good for like, they were kind of okay for language processing, like machine translation. But those were like, random, those were like Markov models and non-parametric statistics. And I thought those kind of fell out of favor. So maybe the results are not that good or something like that. So and people latched onto neural networks more. I wonder why, if it's been doing better or something.
Yeah, so Jeremy kind of says that for him it's like either random forests or neural networks. That's what he uses in his kind of day-to-day. But if you look at Kaggle, that's mostly the extreme or the gradient boosting machines instead of maybe random forests. But I guess it's not so different. Yeah.
All right.
I find
maybe, maybe I'll check out a lecture or two and see. I don't know about random forests.
And moreover, like these machine learning lessons are kind of like you want to interpret the data. In that case, you use it. And obviously, like deep learning networks are like quite difficult to interpret, make sense out of those relationships, right? So Jeremy basically uses that, and in later videos, basically he explains the relationship using this model. That is what I have observed. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll have to be patient, try it, and see. All right. Let me go back to just a.
That's right. There was a comment from Andrew, and that's right. The machine learning course is more focused on the tabular data, as opposed to like the image, language, and yeah. So it's more on the tabular.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Thanks, Andrew. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, neural networks. It's a bit of a surprise that you can use it for tabular data. So the machine learning stuff, random forest, I suppose, is perhaps more has a longer history of that. Okay. Oh, as far as I don't know, those that are living outside the U.S. time zones, there was a question. Sam specifically asked Jeremy this question at this time marker in the interview. I thought that's especially important. Is that when would the video lectures be available for offline viewing? And I think Jeremy was kind of avoiding that question. Is basically, I think he says he's not going to put them online. They appear on YouTube Live. And I suppose if you can do some video capture off your graphics card or something like that, you can, or maybe someone can has a way of recording YouTube videos, I suppose, then maybe that's, but Jeremy's not going to make it officially available, I don't think, during the course. It's, you should listen to this part and interpret for yourself, but this is my interpretation of it, is that it's probably not going to be available during the course run, because he wants people to participate live and ask questions and so forth. Even though if you're remote, he wants you to ask questions. So that's his intent.
To what people have said attending the previous sessions, they said that they were available straight away, but they're only available for the registered users, so they're kind of like hidden from the public.
Yeah, I looked into this a little bit, and I think with YouTube Live, once you record a live session, that you do have the option to automatically just post the session if you want. So from what I read, it's just a click of a button. But this is the course for the bottom up, the bottom up approach rather than top down. So there's 3 courses right now. I think there's this course, the new Fast.ai course, and the one that's running tomorrow as well, for machine learning. Is that
the one
correct?
we're talking about is called Deep Learning for Coders Part 1.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm not sure if it's bottom up. There was some talk about, I think Part 2 may be like more bottom up. Bottom up being concepts is the primary focus, and coding is there, but bottom up emphasizes concepts. To me, that's what it means, and top down emphasizes coding, getting stuff to run. But
with this,
I think
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I can, from what I hear, I think it's still, top down, just as we've been going on, but possibly with the new library. We'll see. I'm not sure.
Is this meetup then going to switch to that course once that starts?
Yes,
Or
it
are we
will.
continuing? Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What time and what day will be that course?
The schedule is listed right here. Let me go there. Let's see, is it there? Nope.
It's 9:30 Pacific time, so different parts like Europe will be like middle of the night, I guess.
Yeah, he did mention like if you're in a different part of the country, please wake up and attend. To register. Let's see. Yeah, here's the schedule. 6:30 Pacific time, California time. That's the first. Yeah, same time every day. Same time on each day.
Well, that's perfect for me in California.
Or yeah, I'm in California. Okay. Right away, it's 7 lectures. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Just there's 5 days apart here, and 5 or 6 days apart. Okay. And we take a little holiday break in America. All right. Cool. Anyway, so anybody else would like to ask or add? Otherwise, I'm gonna inflict my confusion on you.
I have one question, a general question. The Fast.ai library. Now, which parts of deep learning does he really mean to cover there? You've got various kinds of networks like convolutional networks, recurring neural networks, maybe even deep reinforcement learning. Do you have an overall idea of what's missing, for example? What doesn't it cover?
I think what's missing is, based on Sam's interview with him, is probably unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning is missing. I think there's quite a few other things. Like I would be very interested in like a captioning system, something that integrates both video and language. So you see a picture, make a text to describe it. That's a captioning system. And the other thing I have not seen is video processing. So.
Mm-hmm. I'm not having I don't hear the audio very well.
No, I think you're not the only one.
Okay, I hear you well, but maybe Sebastian needs to reboot his audio.
I think he disconnected, so he's probably reconnecting. So.
And then on the other hand, the Sunday morning at 7 a.m. for me in California is a bit tricky for the ML course.
Yeah, sure. We're trying to fit as many time zones as possible, but it's quite tricky. This is the also original timing that the first study group on deep learning was on, but I can imagine. Yeah, it's sorry about that.
By the way, can you post link to the to machine learning lectures. I keep losing it. I know it's not. It's hidden somewhere in Fast.ai website. Like it's not very prominent, so I have to find it every time.
Yeah, if you go to course.fast.ai, you'll see now the tab for machine learning. So you have now the deep learning, then part 2, and then machine learning. So course.fast.ai. But I'll post that one as well.
Okay, thanks. I still don't see it on the web page. I see practical deep learning, cutting edge, and computational algebra.
Yeah, I don't see your screen, but I guess you're on the fast.ai. If you type course.fast.ai.
Okay.
Yeah, then you will see like a course page, proper course page, and then you will have a tab on the top right, machine learning. Yeah, it's a newly released course, like for general public, but it's still using the old library. So
yeah.
But we kind of looked at how we can make it running on the new library, but it's not that straightforward. So I guess we just do it on the 0.7 version, and then yeah, whenever it's available 1.0, we kind of maybe next year switch to that.
Well, that could be an interesting project to do, to convert it.
Yeah, so you just said you want to do it?
Sorry.
No, yeah, I said that would be an interesting project to actually convert it to the new library.
Yeah, I understand. I was joking, but yeah, if you're happy to do it, more than welcome. You can do it. Then we can use it. Because yeah, I agree. It would be nice to use the latest and greatest library and learn that straight away. But yeah, it's not always straightforward.
Okay, I'm back. Can people hear me okay?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
My apologies for that, for cutting out there. So what are we talking about? Okay, if we're not...
A little bit about the ML course.
Okay. Yeah, is my screen still being shared? Share. Not share screen.
Not shared.
Okay, here we go. It's shared now, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I wonder if you all, or if you guys tried the dog breed stuff in the notebook. But so it's at 2 gigabytes of download there for the data and the weights. The weight was like 1 gigabyte or something like that. So it's huge. But in there, he used something called pandas, which, like I said, was like SQL for tables that you slurped into memory. The other interesting bit about that data is that there's the CSV file, the labels are contained in CSV files now instead of directory names. And there's 10,000 labels, but there's 20,000 pictures. There's 10,000 pictures in the train directory and 10,000 pictures in the test. So the labels presumably is only for the train data, because I guess with tests you're not supposed to know the labels or something. I think this was like I mean, you should know the label to know how well your network performed on the test. But I think at the time of the video, of the lecture, it was still an ongoing thing. But I don't know why the test labels are not available. Anybody want to correct me on that? Did you see labels for test data? Yeah, I didn't. So anyway, so with this, just summarizing the experiment here, the 10,000 test image, the 10,000 training images. Yeah, the 10,000 training images were split up. There's into 8,000 training and then about 2,000 validation. Right, there's 2,000 validation images there. So his first run was, using the standard batch size 64. Oh, batch size 64. I think size is 228 or something. I forgot. But batch size 64. He got 80%. He got 83% accuracy. I got 92. I don't understand. I don't know if anybody did anybody reproduce his results or got different results by chance? Okay. Well, yeah, I think Sam, I think last time some people were having trouble reproducing. I'm not sure if exactly this result, but maybe other results. I'm not sure. So based on that 83, he went to augment the data. He resampled it at different pixel sizes, and then he got up to 93%. But it looks like it was, way underfitting there. So I guess he ran it again for longer, so to stop the underfitting. I think that was successful, I believe, and so forth. So basically, I think the bottom line was that you got about 93% accuracy without over or underfitting. There's still some underfitting here, anyways. I think I saw underfitting. I don't know if he saw it. But so he has this 8-step process that he outlined, right? Find your learning rate. What is it? Find your learning rate. Run it for 2 or 3 epochs. I think maybe resample the data, run it some more, and then unfreeze your lower layers, but use a very small learning rate and so forth, like we talked about last time. But that was the gist of that. I think the last part of the lecture was about satellite imagery. I haven't done that yet, so I'm not sure.
Sebastian?
Yeah.
A more general question to everyone listening is, when people, I don't know if you know, when people are talking about processing images and using convolutional neural networks and writing papers, etc., are they, how much downsampling, I guess I'm wondering, is being done? I have a 5 megabyte picture each time I take a photo with my phone, for example. But I assume when somebody says they trained on 100,000 pictures, each one isn't 5 megabytes, right? I wonder do you have any idea of what size people are generally using? It's not just 64 by 64, right? But it's probably not the original image resolution either.
Good question. I don't know. Anybody know?
If you remember the first lecture and the second one, he did the 224 by 224. So what that says is, regardless of the size or the dimension, it will be forced into that small box. So what is he doing? It's not detailed. And the more detailed you get, then it would slow it down and there would be more processing. So that's why he had said I think in the first interview of the first class that he kept it down to 229, and only in the second class did he kick it up to 299, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if something like ResNet or AlexNet were using resolution like that, 224 or 256 or 224 or whatever.
I think so. I think the image now, the ResNets were the 34 was, if I remember right, was kind of trend on 299 or 229, this kind of resolution. And if I remember right, he said that it works kind of best with those image sizes, but I'm not fully sure about it. But I think it was trending it on like 229 or 299 images. Yeah.
I think it also depends on the type of images you're processing. For example, in medical imagery, I think like MRIs or histology stains for like cancer detection, biopsies. Those pictures, I think you really have to squint and look at the very fine details to decide if a certain tissue is cancerous or not. So I think with those, you probably need to be at at least a few megapixels. I think. So.
Does that tie into the amount of memory in your GPU? I'd seen something somewhere about running out of memory in the GPU, and I wonder if that's related to the image size.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you run out of memory, you can always decrease your batch size, make a smaller batch, but it'll take longer to train.
Yeah. So it's not based on image size, then that limitation. Well, it probably is both, right?
Yeah, both. So
if you're trying to train on 5 megabyte images, you're not going to be able to. You're going to have awfully small batches.
Yeah, probably one picture, then you're down to like true stochastic gradient descent. Yeah, so I think the next lecture, I think we're going to talk about satellite imagery or something like that, and I think there's maybe language processing? I forgot. Let's see. Okay. Oh, understanding convolutions. So, in depth about convolutions and so forth. All right. So, yeah, keep in mind if you want to do a little deep dive as you go through the lecture, something piques your interest and you want to share it with everybody. We're not asking for, PowerPoint presentations. I always just scribbled on what is it, on Microsoft Paint. So, because, you don't have to waste time with, polished presentations or anything like that. But, share your interest, through the week, as like maybe midweek when you've had a chance to look at the next lecture, direct message me, email, phone, Slack, and let me know if you want to do a little spiel next time.
The next lecture is 4, is that right?
It's 3. Lecture 3, okay. First hour.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, no problem.
I
haven't. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you there, but I'm just a little confused on the time for the machine learning course tomorrow, because it was saying 1500 GMT, which should be, because we're on daylight saving, it should be 11 Eastern, which would be 8 Pacific, and you're saying 7 Pacific.
Yeah, that's right. We made a mistake on the, I did a mistake when I was converting the Eastern time to GMT. That's exactly the reason you mentioned. So it's 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is, I think, now 2 p.m. GMT.
Oh, so it's okay, so the GMT was wrong then, so it's 14 GMT.
Yeah, that's right. So the end of October will be like changing GMT, BST. I was confused. So it's It's 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is now 2 p.m. GMT, correct? Yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you.
All right then, if there isn't anything else, thank you all for your time, and I will see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, can you post the Zoom chat?
Okay, you know, the Zoom chat, I will put in the Google Drive folder that I shared with everybody. So I'll do that.
Yeah, my Zoom crashed at one point and I lost the first half.
I think I may have lost that too, so I may not be, I may lose a lot of it. All right, have a good weekend, everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.